When you think of Porsche, what comes to mind? Probably this, right? Sleek lines, incredible engineering, a total symbol of luxury and performance. It's a brand that just screams automotive perfection. But behind that super polished image, there's a much darker, way more complicated story. So let's get right into it, because the answer to that question is really the story of how Porsche became the icon it is today. It's a story packed with genius, ambition, and, yeah, a really troubling alliance that literally shaped the course of automotive history. To get the brand, you first have to get the man. And long before he was putting his name on supercars, Ferdinand Porsche was just a young guy who was completely obsessed with this new, almost magical force, electricity. See, he was supposed to take over his dad's blacksmithing business, but Ferdinand had other ideas. He spent all his spare time secretly wiring up his parents' house, playing with circuits and light bulbs up in the attic. His father was furious, called it total nonsense. But then, Ferdinand built his own generator and lit up the entire home. That's when his dad finally got it. His son wasn't a blacksmith. He was an engineering prodigy. And that prodigy? He shot up through the ranks at lightning speed. By 1900, he'd already built the world's first hybrid car. Then he designed winning race cars for Daimler. And for Mercedes-Benz, he created the SSK, an absolute monster of a car that was the fastest thing on any road. The man was, without a doubt, one of the greatest automotive engineers of his generation. But you know how it goes. Ferdinand got tired of working for other people, so right in the middle of the Great Depression, the worst possible time to start a business, he took a huge risk. He founded his own engineering firm and brought his super talented son, Ferry, on board. The stage was set, but the company was really struggling to find work. And then, a letter arrived that would change absolutely everything. This is the moment. This is where the Porsche legacy gets tangled up forever with one of the darkest chapters in human history. That letter. It was from the newly appointed Chancellor of Germany, Adolf Hitler. Hitler had this grand vision, a people's car, or a Volkswagen. He wanted a cheap, reliable little car that any family could own. It was a massive engineering challenge, and a lot of people thought it was impossible for the price. Ferdinand Porsche submitted his design, and he won the contract. This deal gave him the political cover and the financial security he was desperate for. Now check this out, because the difference between the promise and the reality is just staggering. The people's car, which, would eventually become the iconic Beetle, was supposed to be a symbol of peace and prosperity. But before even one car could get to a regular person, World War II broke out. The factory was immediately switched over to produce military vehicles, and the company later admitted it used forced slave labor to get it done. And Porsche didn't just design the Beetle. His company became a key part of the Nazi war machine. He designed the Schwimmwagen, an amphibious vehicle, the huge elephant tank destroyer, and even had a hand in the V-1 flying bomb. His engineering genius was now fully at the service of the Third Reich. So you have to ask, was he a true believer? It seems his motives were more practical than ideological. This quote kind of shows that he seemed way more interested in the engineering and the business side of things than in all the Nazi pageantry. He was an opportunist who saw a path to grow his company, and he just took it, no matter the moral cost. And the results for his business were just incredible. In 10 years, the company's profits exploded from a measly 3,000 Reichmarks to over 2 million. His partnership was incredibly profitable, but it would come with a very heavy price. After the war, Ferdinand Porsche was arrested for war crimes. So the founder's in prison, the family name is disgraced, the future of Porsche looked totally bleak. The responsibility to save the whole thing, it fell to just one person, his son, Ferry. And Ferry's plan to save the company? Well, as you can see, it was nothing short of brilliant. After getting out of jail himself, he designed a race car for an Italian company just to raise money. He used that cash to bail out his sick father. Then, he cut a deal that was absolutely crucial with Volkswagen, getting royalties for his dad's Beetle design, and, this is key, access to their parts. Ferry wasn't just an engineer, he was a master strategist. And with those resources, he finally made his father's dream a reality. In 1948, using Volkswagen parts, Ferry Porsche built the 356. It was the very first car to officially have the Porsche name on it. It was small, light, quick, and it won its very first race, laying the groundwork for Porsche's entire future in motorsports. Ferdinand got to see his son's creation, and he was incredibly proud. He also saw his Beetle finally being made for the people, just like he planned. But his health, just wrecked by 22 months in a French prison, finally gave out. He passed away in 1951, right as the brand with his name on it was about to take over the world. So the torch had been passed. The first generation laid the groundwork. The second saved the company from ruin. And now the third generation was about to create an icon that would define the brand for decades. And that icon, of course, was the 911, designed by Ferdinand's grandson. It was a masterpiece. Powerful, reliable, with that unique rear engine setup, it gave you a driving experience that was unlike anything else. It became an instant classic and really cemented Porsche's place as a leader in high-performance sports cars. But nothing lasts forever. By the early 1990s, the company was in deep, deep trouble. A bad exchange rate and high production costs meant sales just cratered. I mean, look at this chart. Sales were cut in half in just 5 years. By 1993, Porsche was literally on the edge of total collapse. So what do you do? I mean, what's the play here? You're a brand famous for one thing: pure two-door sports cars. How do you possibly save yourself without destroying your entire identity? You do something that makes your biggest fans scream in horror. In 2002, Porsche announced the Cayenne, a 4-door family SUV. The purists, they were outraged. They said the company had totally sold its soul, but Porsche was making a huge bet on a changing market. And this chart right here shows you just how right they were. That bet didn't just pay off, it saved the whole company. Today, SUVs like the Cayenne and the Macan make up over 70% of Porsche's sales. The very vehicle that the purists hated is what pays for the development of the 911s they love. It's kind of ironic, right? Which brings us right back to our final question. The Porsche we see today, this hugely profitable global icon, was built on the engineering genius of its founder. It was redeemed by the business smarts of his son, and it was saved by a really controversial SUV. It's a legacy of brilliance and darkness, and they're completely tied together. It makes you wonder, can a brand or a family ever really outrun its own history?